Yeah! I'm ready, baby!
Scary.
Welcome to the Lethal Collective Q&A Mondays. We're ready to rock. We see some people are in the live chat. Thanks for being here. And funny thing is, and I'm sure the guys won't mind me saying this, we were backstage and we started to kind of go down a rabbit hole as we usually do. And then at one point, I'm like, wait a minute, guys, we should just go live with this. This is a great conversation. So, as usual, a lot of fun times here. A lot of fun times. So yeah, guys, you know how we do this thing. If you guys have any questions, please put them into the live chat and we will try our best to get to them. We may not get to them all as usual, but we're going to try our best. So let us know if you have any questions pertaining to anything. All right, gentlemen.
Well, let's not get crazy now. No.
We're going to answer every question, and I promise
Anything. Oh, boy. Oh, no.
Wow.
every and all questions. No.
All right.
Horror-related questions, please.
Yes. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that.
I'll tell you what, as much as this train goes off the tracks, the fact that we're able to get it back on each week and load up and refuel, that track is getting weaker and weaker, man. It just doesn't take much to thump it right off the tracks now.
Right? We're basically on sand right now.
Yeah, that's right.
That's basically what we're on. Real quick, too, in the chat, Jen saying, not sure if I can stay. My mom just told me my brother had brain surgery today. Oh, gosh.
Wow.
Oh,
She
I'm so
never
sorry.
told me that it was happening. They're in Florida, and I'm in New York. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Jen.
Wow. Very sorry to hear that.
Hope everything goes okay. And
Yes.
looks as though the rest of the family here is hoping for a smooth, speedy recovery as well.
Absolutely.
Jeez.
Wow, man.
Yeah. Yeah, life can be pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It can change on a dime. I mean,
Yes.
instantly it can change.
Yep.
So,
Absolutely. Well, best wishes and thoughts and prayers
yes,
for you and your family, Jen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would definitely lift you guys, all you guys up in prayer, Jen, for real. For sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Maverick, what's up, baby? Love the shirt.
Maverick.
Thanks, man.
Hey, deja vu.
Right? Oh, man. I shot him 6 times. I shot him in the heart. Go home. Keith, what's up, Keith? Keith's
What's
the best
up?
too, man. All right.
What's up?
What's happening, man?
Very cool. So yeah, guys, we were talking about Halloween Ends, some of the theories that have been around there. And Steven, you were talking about if they were to kill Michael, certain ways that they would go about it. And I was right before we went live, I said, okay, well, maybe I'll just save that. Because you were saying, they either got to decapitate him, cut him in half,
Yep.
put him in a blender.
Dismember him, arms yanked off. I mean, it's got to be like completely destroy what's left of his human body. It's got to.
Yeah.
It's got to. Because if you do anything short of that, I won't trust it. I will never believe he's dead. I won't. I just don't-
Get the vat of acid out and then just push him
Oh,
in.
yeah.
It's something along those lines.
There
And
you
then-
go,
yes.
man.
Yeah.
melt
but the
away the
question-
skin, crush the bones, get the hammers out, sledgehammers, crush it to ash, dude.
But here's the question, though, and I just went through Jason Takes Manhattan last week, and I survived. But do you think do you think that they would do something that's so similar to that, or and what I was going to say earlier, Stephen? I don't know if they would decapitate him because that would totally be like H2O.
It would.
You know,
would.
I would think, especially thinking about David Gordon Green, I would think that personally speaking, I think he is going to try to do something that hasn't been done, you know what I'm saying, by either of, the major franchises, Freddy, Jason included. So I don't think they do the decapitation,
I will say something to reference Resurrection in a way that would be kind of like a middle finger to that movie would be to kill Michael in the same way that Michael kills Laurie in Resurrection. But it's like the opposite. It's like Laurie killing Michael when he's like hanging off the radio tower, for instance.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Tower.
I see what you're saying.
Because there really hasn't been any references to that movie in particular throughout these two. movies. And I mean, like, that's understandable. You know, I feel like I don't got to explain why that's been the case. But yeah.
Yeah.
That
Well,
might be cool.
maybe a white horse will come and
Oh,
pick up
no.
Michael, and they'll go off into the sunset.
A unicorn will come out of nowhere and just run right through him. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that'll do it.
All of a sudden, Sherry Moon Zombie will come in there all, in white makeup saying, "Go have some fun, baby." It's like, oh, man.
Hey guys! Before we get too much further, should we talk about we're missing one quarter of the collective here? We should probably let folks know. They may be wondering, right? So
I didn't even realize he was gone.
It's been so quiet. It's like we were able to actually talk without any like rambling 30-minute speeches. I mean, we could actually get.
I'm relaxed. It's amazing,
dude. It's so peaceful. I haven't even had to go to the live chat to talk because normally I just stop talking. I just go to the chat, but I can actually talk.
Breathe a little bit.
Can breathe. Oh, we're giving you a hard time, Fate. If you watch us on the replay, no, Fate just had some personal business he had to take care of. Life happens, like it does for all of us. So he may join at some point, but if not, he is okay. He'll be back Friday. Just some things to take care of. So we'll miss him. And we'll pretend to miss him very hard. And no, I'm just kidding.
Maybe. I don't know.
Little did the audience know that we're like amateur actors ourselves. So we'll pretend.
We'll pretend, yes.
And we'll be convincing. Real quick, too, Carrie was saying life is very crazy. I'm going through my own tragedy at the moment. So if I'm not as chipper as I usually am, I'm sorry, guys. Just wanted to be amongst my friends here. We hope everything goes okay with you too, Carrie. Very sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Nothing to apologize for. Sometimes just being present with others is the healing medicine sometimes,
Yes.
Without even saying a word, just being present with other people. So,
absolutely. Glad
you're here.
Yeah, and that's a good point too. I know we were talking about Halloween, but just to kind of sidestep as we usually do in these streams.
Yeah.
I have a friend who went through a really huge tragedy. I don't think he'd mind me talking about it, but where there was a fire, and they lost all of their possessions and so forth and so forth. And he told me today something that really, I think as YouTubers that obviously it's nice to hear it, but I think it just should make us remember the responsibility and also the platform we have, because he told me, and this is someone that I talk to fairly regularly, and keep in touch with. But he told me that my content had really cheered him up on so many occasions, more than he could count during this time period. And he says, I just wanted you to know that. And, it just makes you realize that, having a platform like this, it is a fun thing to do, but it's a blessing as well. And hopefully, if you can help folks even to just get them to take their mind off of things for a little while, I think that's a great thing to be able to do, so.
Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely.
100%, man. 100%. Just like sometimes we'll turn on films to just escape for a little while, to get into that world. This is a lot of times, I think it's the same thing here for YouTube, for watching YouTubers and content. Like, this does the same thing in a lot of ways. It's a time to get your mind off of what your mind is trying to be occupied with, and for a little bit, even if it's for an hour, just a little bit, to put everything down for a minute and just, I'm going to focus on this and let my mind have a mental resting period before everything comes back. So you're right, Knight. That's a really great way to say it, man. It's a pretty cool thing that we have the opportunity to do that.
Yeah. And anything we can do to brighten up everyone's corner of this earth, that's half the reason why we do it, honestly. And our love for horror movies, of course. But yeah.
That's right.
Absolutely, man. I mean, not to obviously get into any political stuff, but I mean, the world just needs more light, and if we can provide anything, that's cool, man. That's a lame word to use, but it's cool.
It's very cool. It's cool. I mean, just to reinforce this, it reminds me, I just thought of it when you said that about the world, the events of the world and stuff when we're getting into. Someone messaged me just a couple days ago, actually, about that. They were basically saying, look, the way the world is getting so toxic, and there's so much toxicity in the world in all different places, not just about movies and life in general and politics and everything else. And they actually said that. They were like, this is a non-toxic place to go with friends, where we're all loving and supporting and respectful of one another. And it was really nice to hear that. Well, first of all, it's nice to feel that, be a part of that. Number one, to be a part of that environment that we have, and this goes for all of our channels. I mean, it's Knight and Jake and Fate and my own. It's all of our channels, and then together as a collective, it's the same thing here. This is an extension of each of us individually together. So, man, it's pretty cool. And you don't really think about that when you're editing videos and you're creating content. Like, what can I do tomorrow? What time do? And you're making all this stuff and you're posting and But at the end of the day, though, it really can make a difference to someone beyond just entertainment.
Yep, I totally awee. You're awesome, Carrie.
Thanks, Carrie.
Awesome.
Oh, thank you, Carrie.
Absolutely. You guys are going to get me all emotional. You guys know how I get. Come on.
I'm telling you, man. This
Gonna
is
start tearing up over here. Jeez.
Right?
Yeah.
Jeez. All right. We do have a couple of questions, so I might as well just throw them up so we, make sure that we hopefully, because Jake said we're going to answer them all. So
All of them. Every single one of them. I will not be stopped until they are all answered.
We're gonna have a question-a-thon,
Question-a-thon.
Like
There
what
you
Fate
go.
was doing on Saturday. Do you believe Lindsay Wallace will survive in Halloween Ends?
That's tough, man. That's really tough because that can go either way, dude. That can go either way. I don't even know if Laurie's gonna live. I don't even know if Allison's gonna live, and these are even more closer to main character status than Lindsay Wallace is. So I really, if I had to say something right now in concrete, I would say she's gonna die.
Yeah.
That's what I'm leaning more towards.
Okay, what do you think, Steven?
I would say if you're betting the odds, I think Jake's right. Probably does. But the fact that they let her survive kills, which makes me wonder, maybe if he has her in mind to be a survivor at the end of all of this for some reason. I do think Laurie does die. I'm kind of talking, but I think Allison lives. What if it's Allison and Lindsay at the end that actually survive the whole thing? So, one person from 78 is still alive.
Yeah.
So think about it. If he kills Lindsay, and if we've lost Tommy, we've got and Lonnie's still alive. No, Lonnie's dead. Lonnie's dead, right?
Yeah, Lonnie's dead.
Lonnie's dead.
Yeah.
So everyone's dead. They're all dead from 78 except for Laurie.
Right.
And Lindsay, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah.
do you want to be the guy that kills everybody?
That's a good point.
I mean, all of them. I mean, at least Lindsay would have one survivor from all this.
And it almost would be kind of cute because Lindsay was always, or I should say, especially in 78, she was that kid that was just so kind of oblivious. She's watching The Thing or whatever on TV, and Michael's like standing right there, and she's just enjoying her movie and so forth. So I think it would be cool if she survives.
Me too.
And look who just popped in.
Here comes
There it
trouble.
Oh,
The
there we go.
collective. How dare you? You think I didn't hear what you guys were saying earlier?
It was so nice.
It was so peaceful.
God, we had 15 minutes of pure bliss, and now it's all over.
I am the collective. I am
God.
the collective. You are nothing without me, people.
Dang.
Kind of to piggyback onto what Maverick was saying, we were much happier people about 37 seconds ago. And now, I'm just playing, man.
The toxic work environment. Here it is.
You gotta call HR.
I'm that boss that just yells at everybody.
The Lethal Collective HR.
Yes.
We definitely have that. Yeah.
What's going on, everyone? I am back. I'm not all doped up, which is good. So I'm good.
That's no fun.
Yeah, no, I know, right? I didn't get the good stuff. No, for everyone that I miss you all too. I appreciate you. Thank you all. No, I had to go to the dentist. My wisdom tooth in the back. I never had to get my wisdom teeth pulled. Yeah, I know. I just took over the stream. You like how I did that, huh? So I came in. My wisdom teeth. I never got them pulled, and one of them cracked like in half, and it was chewing into the side of my tongue. And now we're good. You guys can leave now, by the way. It's all good. And so they shaved it down for me so I could talk. So don't worry. is not
great.
bothering me to talk
Great.
anymore. And
Yeah.
now we're
Remember
good.
earlier I was talking about how to take my headphone or start going to the chat and I just go on mute for a half hour. I'm going to start now.
Yeah. I'm gonna call your
with you guys.
dentist. I'm gonna call your dentist and be like, "Can you just like undo everything you did? I'll pay you. I don't care. Like just
I
no."
have to. So I am gonna miss the 18th, which is a Monday, and then because I have to do a consultation for surgery, and then the whenever they do the surgery. So don't worry,
man.
you guys will
Okay.
get to do well with.
He's giving out predictions. I love it.
No.
You guys can do
That'll be our vacation.
Well, no, because the 18th, the only appointment that I could go to have a consultation with the surgeon is at 2:18 or 2:30 in the afternoon. So that's right. That's like you'd be 30 minutes into the live stream. So maybe I'll pop in and say hi while I'm in the waiting room.
You probably will.
Piss you guys off. But
You just while you're
That'd
driving.
that'd
you
be
know?
hilarious.
Yeah.
Right? Or like when he's in the operating room or whatever. Hey guys, I just want to make sure you knew I'm still here.
yeah. But hey, I am dedication. I still did the 9-hour live stream. I still did the collective stream. I still did all those things with a ton that was getting ripped into. Man. That's right.
Wow.
That's what that
Damn.
is.
Hey,
So,
dude, you're my hero.
That's right.
Yeah, he is.
That's right. But anyway,
Wow.
go ahead. Sorry.
Emma
Pretend like I'm not
said-
even here.
Yeah, well, okay. Emma says Team Fate.
That's right.
Shame on you, Emma. Shame on you.
Shame be unto thee.
Shame. I'm just joking. I'm just playing, man. What's up, Bob? Bluck is in the chat. All right. But Fate, what do you think about that? The first question we were asked was about what do we think will happen to Lindsay Wallace in Ends? Do you think that she's gonna survive or what?
No, I don't think she'll make it through the whole movie. I wouldn't be surprised if she was like sort of now that they did the rework and all that stuff with her. I wouldn't be surprised now if she's sort of like a catalyst point for the end game result. You know, like maybe she's she's somebody that she dies given a blow or something like that allows Laurie and Allison to kind of put it together.
I also thought that sounded weird, Steven.
Just something didn't sound right.
I also thought there was something amiss about that. No, I totally agree, man. I mean, she got way too lucky in kills. I think she goes down right before the third act of Halloween Ends. Honestly,
I could see something like that. So
Bye, Carrie.
But
bye, Carrie.
all right.
Bye, Carrie. Take care.
But yeah, I do. I think I could see her being something along those lines. Some significance, but not major significance. I really don't think she's gonna be in the film as much as like they made it seem like she was gonna be. You know, like I think she had her part. Like she probably had like a handful of scenes or whatever, and then they probably just added like 2 or 3 more scenes, likely towards the back end. Just to say like, oh, she was in the whole movie type thing. But I think ultimately she dies.
Yeah. I think, but I will say this though, the way you were talking about it, Steven, I got to wonder if maybe it might be the type of thing where maybe it's a combination of everything you guys have said that, she does something fairly significant. I don't think she'll be in the movie a lot either, but I think she might have that moment that kind of stands out, kind of like she did in Kills. But what if, she does survive, and has her own way of kind of walking off into the sunset or whatever, being taken off to the hospital in the ambulance and she's alive or whatever, and that's the last we see of her. That almost would be kind of poetic, that almost fits her character from 78 and Kills. I could see them trying to have that type of synergy, but who knows, man? Who knows?
What if she's the only one to survive?
Wouldn't that be crazy?
Man.
Allison,
I don't know,
Laurie,
dude.
And Michael die, and she's the only one.
And
to
she's
survive?
the only one that makes it out, dude. I don't know, man. That would be nuts.
It'd be wild.
like after all that character development,
Right?
of like Hawkins, Allison, Laurie, like for
Yes.
her to be the only one that lives would be wild. But who knows? I really don't. That was something I was talking about earlier. I really don't know how this one's gonna end. I'm not gonna honestly be super confident saying in one thing or the other. Is Michael gonna die? Is Laurie gonna die? Are both of them gonna die? I really am not 100% sure one way or the other.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you
saying-
consider her?
That's
Okay,
funny.
so every time I post a Halloween video and like I reference Tommy, Lindsay as like, and I'll say like, oh, she's a legacy character in Halloween. She's an iconic character. I
Mhm.
always get people that are like, she kind of was completely irrelevant. I don't consider her a legacy character or something along those lines. Do you guys agree with that, or do you guys think like, no, she is, her and Tommy would be that, or do you think that they just
Absolutely.
weren't significant enough?
No, they are.
No,
they
they are
100% are legacy characters.
100%.
Okay, so
I think so too.
Yeah.
okay, yeah, because I get it like every time I post, like anytime if I just post like a regular Halloween video and I just then no, but anytime I'm like, yeah, Lindsay, and she's she's the legacy of Halloween with Laurie and blah blah blah, whatever the case may be. I always get people in the comments that are like, that is not true. She's not legacy. She's completely irrelevant.
What?
But I swear to you, I can.
How is
show
that? How
you
is she
what?
irrelevant
I'd have
to
to,
the
right?
plot? That's
Well,
insane.
like I've had people say because like she was the little girl like that was just she's just the girl on the couch watching TV that runs next door. Such like she's just this brief. She's not fighting Michael. She's not anything along those lines.
Laurie Strode was just kind of a babysitter. I mean, I don't really know. I don't know.
I agree.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, to me, it's the same thing though, because it's like they were
Exactly.
put in. They were in that, like they're a huge part of that third act of Halloween. Laurie is literally making sure they don't die. Like she's like directing the whole show and all that. I don't know. That's an really odd argument, because by definition they are legacy characters. They are brought back from the original.
From the original, yeah.
And then they're also cool characters that have been developed into these adults with different storylines, and they both have an influence over Halloween Kills, the storyline of it, at least.
Right.
I believe one of the comments was that like either that or it's just a thought that just popped in my head, one of the two. But I know for sure that the comments that I mentioned before are real. But this one, I'm pretty sure somebody said one time that that Lindsay and Tom, like if you just had them in the movie, nobody, like most people wouldn't even recognize it or really care. That unless they really like pointed it out, like that's why. But which I do kind of understand. I do think that there would be a portion of people that wouldn't. But so like, okay, this is a good question. So since we all consider that she is a legacy character, like wouldn't that kind of justify her being the only survivor? Like the girl from the first that ran away, like did all that stuff, was the survivor. Like, don't you think that would be like, I believe it was Knight that was saying earlier, kind of poetic?
Yeah, I could definitely say there'd be some, that vibe, it would be kind of poetic, but I just don't know if they would go that far. Like I said, I think I think she'll definitely have some moments, or at least a moment in the movie, like she did in Kills. Which, by the way, I'm telling you what, man, when she bent down to grab that bag, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, Lindsay? And she got the bricks, and I was like, oh yeah, So it just showed that this lady is able to think on her toes, and I really appreciated that about her. And it definitely made me more invested in her. So I think she'll have a moment in this movie, but I don't think that when all the dust is settled, she'll be the one at the end and they're going to show her as that sole survivor. I think she might, if she survives, she might, be carted off in an ambulance or something like that, and we'll know that she survives. But kind of like I think what you were saying, Jake, all the time that they've invested in Hawkins and obviously Laurie and Allison, I just don't know if they'd kill everyone and have Lindsay as the sole survivor.
Yeah, especially with the heavy focus they put on Officer Hawkins in that last movie. I mean, something I talked about in my video today was that those flashback scenes to the 78 movie, you can take those at face value and say, oh yeah, they just put those scenes in there to like establish what happened at the end of the 78 movie moving forward to the 2018 film. But it's much more about Frank Hawkins' tragic backstory, I would argue, about like him accidentally shooting his partner and stopping Dr. Loomis from killing Michael. I think it's much more about that, and it's setting up something for the next movie, which David Gordon Green has already done little tiny details from like Halloween 2018 that have come back and been massive plot points in the next film. I think he's doing the same thing here with Halloween Kills moving into Ends, having those little tiny details become something much bigger in the future films.
Yeah, I agree. And can we just, and I know Fate's going to hate this, but can we just reference that recreation scene? Because, Jake, as you're talking about it, Jake, I'm seeing it in my head, baby.
Oh,
and
fantastic.
it was so
So good.
Fade, are you shaking your head, man? Come on, man. The
I'm just saying.
recreation scene to me was just so cool in every way possible because the way it was shot, the character development in a very small amount of time, which set up things so much. You know what I mean? And of course, to be able to bring Loomis, back into
Yeah,
the
dude.
movie, and they did
Oh.
such a hell of a job. I appreciate it, and I've got a video coming out too on that. But I appreciated how they made all the right choices, in my opinion, for that scene, anyways. But yeah.
When we did the subathon thing, we had like an hour debate on Halloween Kills. Like literally, like all of us in the chat were talking about it, and somebody made an excellent point. You guys know who it is. I don't know if they want to know. If you want to throw it in, they're in this chat too. If you want to throw it in the chat, go ahead. But what they said was an excellent point. People like that simply on the fact that basically along the lines, people only enjoy it simply on the fact that it looks so real, but it served no real significant purpose at all. And it's true.
What?
No, hold on.
What?
Wait a second. If Jake is right, and because I watched Jake's video earlier, very well done, sir.
Thank you.
If Jake's theory is correct, and Hawkins is gonna be the guy that's really gonna shine in ends, then that whole flashback was perfectly set up to get to that point. So we can't make the decision on what you're saying until we see ends. Because if it turns out Hawkins is the hero, then it's huge. That flashback scene is massive because it shows us how he stopped Michael from being killed, but now he's going to finally correct the mistake that's haunted him his whole life. And that's an incredible arc for him if that's the way they go. So I think it will be absolutely, it will be
pivotal.
pivotal.
Been 18, though. It should have been. It's
Okay.
That's a whole nother discussion.
No.
It should have been an 18. Yes, it should.
But besides that, even if they don't do that, like let's
Let's go.
Yeah, Stu.
Let's go, baby. Get it up.
Listen, here's what really needs to happen. Matthew Lillard gets unmasked as Halloween ends. Stu comes back there, and we merge both of the. No, I'm totally kidding. The one thing though, Fate, is that even if they don't do that, if they completely disregard Hawkins and everything they tried to set up in Kills for that, it's important to know that what happened after the 78 movie, the conclusion, because like we were talking about earlier, the original Halloween kind of leaves off on a cliffhanger. We don't know what happens with Michael. We learn from these flashbacks that, in my opinion, just done so well. The attention to detail's amazing. I mean, listen, Disney tried to do this with Star Wars, trying to make like the older characters look like their younger selves, and it looks nowhere near as good as Dr. Loomis in this film, in my opinion. The practical effects and the voice, it's just it's perfect. I think. If it does nothing else, it does give us the conclusion to the 78 film leading into the 2018 movie. If it does nothing else, so it's an important scene for that reason, I think. But
yes, but they completely retconned essentially what happened at the end of 18 to have that. It should have been in 18, and on top of that, we didn't really need that explanation. We haven't gotten it all this time. Nobody. How many of you were like, you know what I've been waiting my entire life for?
Stop.
Nobody cared. It answered questions no one really cared about. That was completely irrelevant.
You didn't want to know what happened to Michael after the events of that, so that he got to prison?
Who cares?
I thought it was cool.
It's the whole point. I'm not saying it wasn't cool, but people put so much more into that flashback scene than it really needs to be. They could have not done that at all, and it would have been completely irrelevant. The only reason that people really love it is because it looked just like Donald. They did such a great job.
That's not the only reason people love it.
It
Not the only reason I love it.
Purpose for the actual plot of the.
You can't just minimize it and say everyone thinks that.
Nuts,
it's just
man.
not true.
Yeah, that's nuts. I'm
your
sorry.
guys'
You can
every
say-
time you bring it up. You guys
No,
are
you
like,
can-
oh,
you
it was
can
so
say-
well done. The flashback, Donald,
Right?
Exactly. The
That's
same.
exactly what it
That's
sounds
exactly
like.
what
That's
I
a
thought.
perfect
Yeah,
impression.
I mean, it's fair to say that it only you
And then you
think
got
that,
Mike, he's like,
but to say everybody is just you just can't. Nah, come
Yeah, every time somebody brings that up, it's always the same thing. It's always like they did such a good job with it, though. Like, look at how it looks, and then you have Knight like, yeah. So I just thought that like, with this, I can't even replicate his sexy voice. It's just impossible.
We won't know until the end, until we see ends, man. You're looking at the middle of a book.
Yeah.
We don't know how it's going to connect to the end yet.
Yeah, I agree with that. And
so how can you say it's good? How can you say
Desiree
it's good?
knows
because it was done.
Because
it was great.
Cool. Listen,
Wait,
okay. Have we all seen The Mandalorian? Have we all seen The Mandalorian? Real quick.
Yeah.
Have you seen
I
that?
haven't, but I don't care.
You don't care? Can I spoil it?
Yeah,
Does
go
anyone
ahead.
else care in the chat? You got 5 seconds to put something in there, and I'm gonna spoil it. I don't care. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Anyways, just turn your head. Just turn it down for like literally 10 seconds. I'll make this quick. So the ending of season 2, right? We see Luke Skywalker, and it's like, oh my god, it's so cool! It's such a big reveal. It's crazy. It doesn't look that good. Like, honestly, in retrospect, it looks fine, but it is so digital. It is like, literally just Mark Hamill with a bunch of like digital effects on him to make him look like Empire Strikes. Well, I guess ending of 6 leading into Mandalorian. But like this, the attention to detail, the practical effects, that's not digital. Dude, that's a dude with practical makeup on in Halloween Kills to look like Donald Pleasance. That alone is so impressive. And the voice work too sounds spot on. I don't know who's doing the voice work there. I don't know if that's something from past movies or not. Honestly, I don't know that offhand. But
I don't know if that's the guy that did the voice work in was it H2O? I can't remember, but because they had that guy. Well, actually, in 2018 as well, because the recordings, obviously, that wasn't Donald Pleasance either.
Yeah.
But it could be.
Yeah.
But it's to me, from a filmmaking standpoint, that scene is just done so well. That's what's so impressive about it to me. Just from that alone, it's like I can't believe they managed to do that. They managed to do something that Disney couldn't do. Like that to me is really, really, really impressive. And I don't know. I can't just like I can't just wash that away and be like, even if maybe there's parts of that sequence that feel unnecessary. To me, it's just like that's so cool from a filmmaking standpoint that they could do that better.
I'm not denying that
Keith knows what's up.
was well done. Like that's not my.
Well, you were just criticizing people because you said that's what they always say.
I'm just coming. This is just my retort, bro.
I understand, but I'm saying like of course it was well done, but that's not the sole reason for this to be important. Like and it goes into my whole problem with Halloween Kills. They did a bunch of really cool stuff, but none of it needed to be done for a middle gap film. Like all of the important stuff, like I've said, you could just plug into 18, put in the ends. Sorry, I was gonna say 19, but ends, and then there you go. You probably would have had 2 perfect films. Granted, we don't know how ends is going to say, so for all we know, maybe it does. Maybe it just rounds out the trilogy beautifully, things like that. But it could also make.
Well,
it
thank you for saying that. I can't. That's the first time I've ever heard you ever say that.
I've said that
months, all these
times
months.
In the past.
No.
Yes.
No. Back me up, guys.
Yeah.
All I've ever heard is that movie is trash, dude. I never hear anything about rounding out the trilogy. No.
Last week we had a whole conversation on how do we think that Halloween Ends is going to end and affect the trilogy, and I said the same thing. Like I said, that's my whole problem with Kills. Is that like everyone's just like, this was really cool. It was like a fan service film purely for financial gain. Like, which,
God.
And it was.
It wasn't.
It was.
I'm sorry, man. No.
I can't do it. I can't do it, dude. I can't do it.
Value did it really add to the overall story
Lord,
that had to be done?
Like, listen,
You mean
man.
that scene, the recreation scene?
That had to be done.
You're talking about the recreation scene?
No. I'm saying the entire movie of Halloween.
Oh, Jesus.
What in that movie?
There's so much character development and things that happen to multiple different.
On who?
Okay, first and foremost, Cameron, who we start the movie off with in that one scene. And then we get to see his like kind of redemption arc, I guess, of him helping out Allison and his dad and all them trying to ultimately take down Michael. He dies doing this. But here's the thing. If you don't have Halloween Kills, there's only really one acceptable way to feel about Cameron, and then he's an absolute dick for throwing Allison's phone in some nacho cheese. Like, fuck that guy. But honestly, after Halloween Kills... What's wrong with kissing some cheetah girl and throwing your girlfriend's phone in nacho cheese?
No, I'm saying
Bait.
what's wrong with us thinking? What's wrong with us thinking Cameron is just an a-hole?
Because there's undone character potential there. You're just gonna end it right at that?
No, I'm saying we could have had. I'm saying if we didn't do Halloween Kills, right? I'm giving you guys a chance to try to convert.
Well, listen, I'll tell you this. What he did. what he went through in Kills, to me,
Yes.
it not only heightened his character because of the arc. Because to be quite honest, at the end of Halloween 2018, I just thought he was a jackass, and that was it. I didn't care about him at all. In
Yeah.
Kills, when we see him find Hawkins, and the first thing he does, you can see the look on his face. Credit to him as an actor, because I was actually believing what he was trying to emote. And he runs over to Hawkins and he's trying to save this guy. I was like, all right, good on you, bro. And then later on, when he apologized to Allison and he joins their whole crusade to hunt Michael down. And as the movie went on, I'm kind of more invested in him. And then, of course, when he gets killed, that's the thing that Allison really gets out of it, because in that movie, she loses him. And obviously at the end, we know what happens as well. So I think a lot of this too is setting up Allison. And I can say it right now. I'm going to guarantee it. You guys hear it live. I guarantee you, Allison is going to have a huge part in Halloween Ends.
Yeah, I agree with
She's going to have
second
a
that.
huge part.
Yeah.
And you can see the arc in the two movies leading up to the third one. Because like I've said before, in the first movie, she's just a kid. She just wants to live her life. She loves her grandmother, but she thinks her grandmother is a little crazy. She's very supportive, very loving, just a cool kid. In Halloween Kills, she goes on the hunt because she lost her father. She knows what she's lost. This town has lost so much. So she's had a really interesting arc over these movies, and I think Cameron is a big part of that.
Yeah, but Cameron wasn't you if you left it again, but it's not so important to the story. It had to be done. I'm saying
Nothing has to
what
be
in
done.
Halloween Kills was so important to the film that it really set up. There was nothing.
Okay,
there was nothing.
We'll find
I'll
out
give you
when we watch
this.
Halloween Ends. We'll
Yeah,
revisit
there-
it in Halloween Ends.
First, Halloween Ends could totally change the way we think about this film entirely. But listen, Fate, I'll give you this. I think what they did with Laurie and, for the most part, Karen's character was like, really, they were like these huge main characters in the last one, and they're bedridden this entire movie. Same with Hawkins. But there was still a lot done with Hawkins' character, even though he was bedridden
Yeah,
this
there was
entire
more
movie
done
with the
with Hawkins.
flashbacks and all
Yes.
that. That was really cool. Laurie's character, I agree with you. I feel like they literally gave her the Halloween 2 treatment again, and it was kind of like, okay, well, that part of it's unnecessary to me. But because they had to tell this other story with all the other new characters, I understand why they had to do it, if that makes sense. It's a sacrifice they had to make to tell the other parts of the story, I think. Which, if they didn't conclude Cameron's chapter, if they didn't conclude, like, bringing Lonnie in, who was a character set up in 2018 that we didn't see until Halloween Kills, we see what happens to him, which I think is really cool. That's also part of the flashback scenes, moving into Halloween Kills. I really appreciate it. I think this whole movie was about the side characters. It was about the townsfolk of Haddonfield, and we got to see that mob mentality, the social commentary behind it as well. A lot of it's really well done. It's not your typical Halloween film. It's very experimental. It's very out there, and it's not for everybody either. I'm not going to try to I'm not upset with people for disliking this film. It totally makes sense why some people don't get it and aren't into it, but I really enjoyed it for being something different, for being something experimental.
Absolutely. And real quick too, Denisha, thank you so much. You saying thanks for a membership link. You rock. I really appreciate it, and you're so supportive of all of us. And once again, thank you so much. I just wanted to answer that to her.
Yeah, go Denisha.
Oh,
Let's go.
Speaking of things and like awesome stuff, Knight, big congratulations. That's awesome that he's got his memberships, and anyone that can do that, go over there and do that. But Jake, I don't know if this was mentioned, but Jake, full-time YouTuber,
Yeah.
full-time meat lover.
Wow.
Yeah, things are nuts.
He reached the promised land. There's hope for us all.
Yeah, see, he's made the jump. You know,
I have. I'm scared shitless, but you know what? It's fine. Everything's fine.
It's exciting. It's
Yeah,
exciting.
no, it's exciting, man. It's very exciting.
That's
Yeah.
right. So now more than ever, we got to support Jake.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Right?
No more rolling burritos for this guy, thank God.
There you
So-
go.
Now he's rolling videos.
Now I was just about to say something like
They
that.
see me rolling.
Aiden says, "Congrats, man! Absolutely,
Thank you.
very, very, very cool." All right, let's see. We got a couple more here. Maverick was saying, "I don't think David Gordon Green has the juice with Universal to kill the boogeyman. Could you guys see Universal greenlighting them killing him off?"
It might not
Yeah.
be up to Universal.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, seriously, it might not.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt that anybody wouldn't mind killing the boogeyman finally. It's just it might not be able to be done, like literally.
Yeah.
I mean, like Jason Blum has already said that they plan on doing something else with the IP come 5+ years from now. So like, I don't think it's too crazy to kill him off, considering they already have plans for more movies that I don't think will necessarily continue this timeline. I mean, it might, but something I brought up in my video today was that like they have 4 or 5 years of the Exorcist movies that they're going to be mainly focusing on with David Gordon Green now. I'm not super in support of those, I'll be totally honest, but the Blumhouse movies are super focused on that. Blumhouse Productions, that's going to be their focus for the next at least 5 years. So I really don't think they're going to continue the storyline, but they're going to do something else with that. I mean, Halloween is a moneymaker. Even though some people are probably starting to get sick of it a little bit because we've consistently gotten movies over the course of the past like 4.5 years or so, I do think we're going to do something else with it coming up here in 5+ years.
You don't think that they would be able to do both?
Dude, they don't have just that on their plate. There's a lot more in store. Like Insidious 5 is supposed to come out next year. They have like a bunch of other movies already ready, like have release dates set to go.
Yeah.
I just can't name them offhand, but I know like Insidious 5 is about to go into production pretty much. So like that's going to be a really hot item for them, surprisingly. Like the last movie made the most money out of any of the movies in that franchise, which was like what's
Which
like
one was that, The Last Key?
Yeah, The Last Key. That came out like early 2018, I want to say.
Yeah. Did you like that movie? Did you guys see that?
I really liked it.
I didn't
Some
I
people
liked it.
hated it, but I enjoyed it.
I thought it was whatever. I mean, I thought it was good.
The story is all over the place.
It is.
Like
Yeah.
all over the place.
You're just
but
like,
yeah,
hard
yeah.
to keep up sometimes. Like you're like, and like I'm one of those people. Like I'm watched the movie. Like I'm in it. Like and even I was like, how did we get here? Like,
Right.
you know, like,
The scares to me are worth it though. Like the monster is awesome. Keyface is such a good demon. I really do like the ending too. That leads into the first one. That was really cool. This new one though, it's
cool.
Yeah, right. I really liked all that, and the reveal that it was them at the door, that they're the ones that accidentally opened it and released the demon and all that. Sorry if I'm spoiling this for you, but
I mean, it's been long enough.
yeah. Sorry, I'm a geek when it comes to the Insidious movies. Like, there's something about those that just hit for me. But the fifth one though is going to be an actual continuation, where the last two have been prequels. So like this it's going to be directed by Patrick Wilson. It's going to be starring him as well. It's going to go back to the Lambert family. I think it's really going to be one of the better films in the entire franchise. I'm very excited for it.
I really like Patrick Wilson. I think what a nice career he's been able to carve out, and I hope he continues to just kind of keep climbing that mountain. I just love his work. I really do. He's a very, very cool actor for me.
He always
that
shines.
And The Conjuring.
Yeah.
I mean, he's taken over like that
Yeah,
like,
man.
That's
that
his thing.
Universal horror type movies or
Yeah.
demon type movies. I mean,
Yeah, the possession,
Yeah.
haunted house kind of thing.
He's really carved that niche, and it's
Absolutely.
worked great for him. You know,
Absolutely. Let's see. I shot him 6 times. Do you guys think we will get more Loomis flashbacks?
Well, they kind of sucked in Halloween Kills. So.
First of all, they were totally unnecessary. They have no point to the plot.
That shit?
They're pointless scenes. There's no reason to be there.
Finally,
What are you doing?
Say thank you.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? The flashbacks.
Thank you. God, I'm glad. I love when we can all agree on something.
Oh yeah, we're 100%.
Yeah,
we're
we
all
all-
calibrated. Oh
Yep.
Yeah.
Just to
I
the
tell you
little
what.
persuasion.
I tell you what. I think that anything is possible, and I, for one, unlike my lethal brother here, I'd be all up for it
Singular.
because yeah, exactly. But because it was done so well in Halloween Kills, man. Let me just tell you real quick how my experience with it was. I went to the theater to see it. First of all, I didn't know if I was going to make it to see this movie in the theater. So I'm sitting there, I got the popcorn, I got the Pepsi, I'm just taking it all in, and I'm watching this recreation scene, and as soon as I saw him, I was like, holy shit. And for that, whatever it was, that second or so, when I saw him, I was like, what? Because I was trying to rationalize it because obviously Donald's been gone for a long time, and I'm like, how did they do that? Because it didn't look like some wonky CGI, and it really. Look, I'm a fan of Dr. Loomis, obviously, so I'm looking at it through that lens. But I was just so happy with that scene. I was so happy the way it was done, and I'd love to see more Loomis. I do think, and I've talked about it a little bit. I do think that Loomis will have some type of presence or shadow on this movie. And I think the reason for that, and the reason for that scene in Kills, is because David Gordon Green understands the mythology. He understands what an important presence that Donald had on this franchise, and rightly so. I mean, he was just an amazing actor, and he was an amazing character. He's one of my favorite horror characters of all time. Period.
Oh yeah.
Period.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even have to think about it. So, anyways, that's my long-winded answer. But I would love to see more Loomis flashbacks. I don't know if we'll get flashbacks, but I do think he will have some type of presence in Ends. Mic drop.
Oh, I liked it. I agree, man. I would like to see Loomis come back. I think if it, I will say this, Fate, this is where me and you agree. I will say if they just bring him back and have another scene like that just to do it, and it has no real purpose to the plot, then I'm gonna be like iffy about it. But once again, that the recreation they did in Kills was amazing. I mean, it really does just look it just looks so pleasant to me. Donald Pleasance. But I think the biggest thing for me was the massive improvement over all the recreations I've seen from like Disney, and to see them like this smaller studio do it so well is just ridiculously impressive to me. So if they do bring them back and they have some kind of purpose for it, then yeah, I'm all about it. But have it be purposeful is what I say.
Yep, I'm with you 100%. You guys have already, I mean, I bet she's going to say what you guys said, so I think I'd love to see him back. I don't have anything else to add. Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah.
Get it up.
Let's get him back. All right.
Get it up.
All three of you said exactly what I said. That everyone always
Oh,
says
Jesus.
about
Oh. Let's go.
You all, no one said. I really loved how it tied into the story in the way that
The story
I
hasn't come
literally
out
just
yet.
said that. I
No.
literally just said that.
Oh
I
my
said it has
gosh,
to have
bro.
a purpose.
Let me recreate
All right.
all of your
I literally just said if it doesn't have a purpose to the story, then I don't want it.
I was going to see the film. I sat down and I was like, "Oh my god!"
I just said that.
How is that him? Is that him? This is incredible. But and then Jake. Let's move on to Jake.
October
they did
14th.
such a great job with that scene. It looked so real. I do agree with you, Fade on one thing. This is where we agree. And then Cravey goes, "Yeah, I basically like what both of you said. I would just."
October the 14th.
My drop.
I don't even know what to say. Like I literally said that. I don't even know I don't know. There's no reasoning with this guy. There's no reasoning with him.
See you later, Flash.
That Steven looks amazing right now, by the way. I don't know if you can hear me or not, but you look incredible, bro.
Yeah, man, looking suave.
right.
Looking suave.
He didn't
Thank you
hear
very
anything I
much.
just said. It's okay.
I heard nothing.
Good.
All right, what's the next movie?
Shot him 6 times, said, bring back Loomis, even if it's just to piss Fade off. My reaction was literally the same as yours, Night, when that scene in Kills came up, right?
Yeah.
Exactly, man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, popcorn and soda too, and
That's right. Kicking back. Yeah.
take it back. It just
Ooh. Casteller has mentioned something. This is a movie I know very little about, and I'm approaching it with the mindset that I don't want to know much about it because it has the potential. It's an A24 movie. It's called Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like it's like a closed-in setting where there's a party setting, right? And there's murders happening. I've heard it's like Scream-ish kind of a vibe.
Yeah.
Do you guys know much about it? Because I'm trying to be real careful with that one. I don't want to ruin any like spoilers or anything, you know?
Yeah, be careful because the script has leaked on certain pages. Yeah. So don't
Okay.
I would
Alright.
not do any digging on Reddit about it. I already had to delete some comments from people who were saying, "Oh yeah, the whole thing leaked on Reddit. I know who the killer." And I'm like, "I don't want to why would you put that in my comments? I don't want to know. That's no fun." But yeah, it's the director has come out and said that it's basically A24's take on Scream. It's a very similar concept. It's a murder mystery and it apparently comes out August 5th now, I believe. They just announced the release date today, actually.
Oh, cool.
didn't
early
they already
August.
didn't they already show the entire movie?
Maybe at South by
South by
Southwest.
Southwest. So
Yeah.
okay.
they already released the entire movie. So there
Yeah,
are,
August 5th, yes.
There's who knows how many people that have actually
Destin.
already seen it.
Yeah, but I want to go into it blind. I agree, Steven. Any
Yes.
murder mystery I don't want to know anything about really before I see it. I want to be able to try to put all the puzzle pieces together in my head as I'm watching it and either figure it out or don't figure it out.
Yeah,
And I love
absolutely.
that. That's what's so fun about seeing those movies. I wouldn't want it any other
is.
way.
No, in fact, I may not even talk about it. I may talk about it, but not watch the trailer, which is going to be crazy, and just say, it's coming out, and then when it's after I watch it, maybe dig into it more because I want to be surprised. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Knowing
I
that's
agree.
what it is, I just all right. It's in August. Well, that'll be here before we know it, man.
Oh yeah, we'll
It's
probably get a
already
trailer
April.
like early June is my guess.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for it. I'm pumped.
Yeah, man, I am too. Absolutely. Let the bodies hit the floor.
Careful,
Yeah,
we
man.
don't get a restriction on
Oh,
here.
gosh.
Fate.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
They
yeah,
shut our stream
shoot,
down.
you're right. Oh my gosh,
How silly
Man.
would that be? Just from us singing that?
I can't believe that happened to you, man. That's just
I know, that's
ridiculous
terrible,
stuff.
man.
Yeah,
Oh,
it just
God.
picked it up, but I
That's insane, man.
yeah, it kept happening. But I mean, like I said, I think because when I'm using the mic, it's very it's like it's not picking up sounds outside and downstairs. But when I was using my phone, I mean, it's picking up everything around it. And then I had to use the restroom at one point, so I flipped the thing around and was watching TV, and it did it again.
Oh no.
But this one was for imagery, and I didn't even think I was that loud. I came back, like
For
so. I went. I turned it around, like because I had the movie playing. I came back. I went pee. Came back, sat down, and then like I grabbed the phone, and then it like I had like a 10-minute conversation, and then it popped up again. It was detected. I was like, "You are like
Dang.
way behind."
Wait a minute. What was the image?
So like, because I had like a movie playing on the TV, but I didn't have any volume on. I had it like, completely off. So
Yeah.
I had to. So I turned the phone around and like I ran to go pee real quick,
Yeah.
so you could see my sign and like a little bit of the movie, like and because I was like showing it back and like I'd flip back and forth between the movie every once in a while, like when a great scene would happen, and it was great. And then I don't know. I guess it was just too long. When I came back, they didn't completely kill this. Well, they didn't kill the stream the first time. It was just taking so long, and I couldn't do anything that I was like, I might as well just end it and then just pick back up. The second time, it was actually really brief, and that time it actually said for image. It said we detected copyright imagery, and then later when I uploaded, so I know for sure what each one was because when I uploaded it to YouTube after I finished the live stream, I got copyright claim notices, and it tells you what it is. So the first one, not the first one, the first one was for music featuring whatever, one of the Wiggles things, whatever the cartoon, the show my kids were watching, and then the second one was for the Incarnate movie I was watching. It was like, and then I tried to edit it out because it was only like 22 seconds that they were like flagging me for, but it just wasn't working, so I just deleted them because I was like, I don't want my whole channel getting demonetized because I have this.
It's not worth it.
So I just deleted the live stream. But it was kind of funny.
Man.
Like I
What's
had
up,
never
Shazam?
had that before.
See you later, Keith.
I had somebody. I don't remember who it was, but somebody was telling me that because I was talking right before that, which is funny. I was talking about how people will do like live streams, and their live streams will get shut down. Thank you so much, Desiree. I appreciate you. And people get their live streams taken down for like a car driving by or whatever the case may be. Like because it's playing copyright music. Somebody's bumping the music in their car or whatever. Or if you're walking into a store, like people have been walking in like Albertsons or something, and it'll like turn on and it'll pick up the music that's playing and shut down your stream, stuff like that. YouTube supposedly fixed that, but it's still an issue. They give you a time period now, where before it was almost instant. Now you have like a little window to get in, get out, but it's all right. Like I said, it wasn't about like and how many people are gonna watch like a 6-hour stream anyway. So it wasn't a big group that deleted it, but it was just funny. It was a new experience. Put me in
Crazy. It's crazy stuff, man. So
down a little, walking out right.
yes, indeed. We had another question. Well, we got a couple more here too. Let's see. Shut him 6 times said, since you brought up the white horse and the sherry, how do you guys feel about Rob's recent comments about wanting another chance at making a Halloween movie? Said he didn't get to show his full potential. Laugh out loud.
That's his fault.
Look at Steven. Steven is about to throw up.
I was going to say, give me a bucket. Give me a bucket. No. Just no. I'll tell you what. If he comes back, I'm not covering it. I'm not watching it. It will not exist in my book. I have no desire.
What if
I
he
won't
comes
even
back
watch
and
it.
it's amazing? Like, imagine if he comes back and it's like the best one ever. Because
I'll never know.
Rob Zombie was saying in the beginning, he even did say that like the studio hindered him a lot.
Oh,
on
yeah.
things that he could and couldn't do.
Oh, yeah, they really messed it up.
He said he never really got to make his movie. But it's like, what if somebody just gave him free rage and it was it was amazing. And then Steven has no choice but to watch it.
Oh gosh,
Dude, if you cut out the entire like opening scene, like the entire just first 20 minutes of the first one, it's a pretty good movie, that first one.
Yeah.
The second one though, I don't know. I can't get into the second one too much. The kills are great in the second one, but all the unicorn, the white horse and all that, it's like, oh my god, what is going on?
Grunting Michael.
Yeah.
Rob
dude.
Zombie's just really hit or miss for me, period. Like there's some stuff that I absolutely love, and then other stuff that I think is just awful. Like, but he definitely, what did I have to give him? He definitely does have like his style.
Yeah,
And there are things that I really think would work great. Like I actually think he might be able to make, like, I think somebody mentioned it before, like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh,
yes.
Totally.
I think he would do
Totally. That would be perfect
So,
for
I mean,
him.
like there are type of films that, like, just based on what we've seen his style, I'm like,
Yeah.
he would do great with that. The Munsters, yeah.
He's doing
how
that
do you guys
now.
how do you guys feel about the Munsters being PG-13 or PG?
I don't know, dude.
Rated
I don't know.
PG.
What do you mean, Jake? You think it's still gonna have its big issues?
Like Rob Zombie doing PG, man. I just can't see it. Like
Wow.
I hate to say that. I love
It's his
I
first
actually
movie ever.
it could. I mean, it could be
No, it's his
potentially.
first PG. It is. It's his
Oh
first
yeah.
PG.
I thought you said it could be his best movie ever. I thought that's what you
Oh
said.
no,
but
I'm sorry. I'm saying it's
like-
his first PG movie ever.
to me, his best movies are House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects. Personally, that's how I feel about his filmography, and those are some of his dirtiest too. But
That's
it
his
works.
stuff. Yeah, that's what
but
he
it
does.
works in those movies. It works when he does
It did.
adaptations of things like Halloween. Things get muddied up, and he tries to
Yeah.
he tries to implement his style. I think a little too much. I have no idea what he's going to do with the monsters and make it PG to make it still be interesting. I don't know what other tricks he has up his sleeve that he could fit into a PG movie. That's my big thing about it. I just don't think it's going to translate very well.
It went completely different from what he was saying in the beginning. He said the whole reason
Yeah.
he said the whole reason he wanted to do the Munsters, sorry, it was to make a darker, more realistic version.
And this is just not going to be that, dude.
Now it's not gonna be that. Like, it's just, and you know what's so funny? Like, so he made a post when he made the announcement for PG before like the accreditors actually released it. He was like, "It's gonna be PG," and in his post, he was like, "For everyone wondering or that keeps asking if this is gonna be a darker,
Right.
more
I saw that.
graphic, nudic type film, whatever the case may be. I just wanted to let you know it's not. It's PG." And it's like everyone thinks that because of you. Because you said when you started this whole project that that's what you wanted to do.
Yes.
Like, stop. Why are you acting like just people are just throwing that randomly out there and just assuming? Like, it came from your mouth.
Yep.
Like, it is.
Absolutely,
But
I agree.
Yeah.
do you
It's
guys
gonna
think
be
you would do a
interesting.
good Friday the 13th? Because that kind of goes into the nudity, the raunchy.
Yeah, I could see it.
Here's the thing, though. He would have insufferable characters that you just fucking hate. That's the biggest thing that would suck
Right.
about that. With Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you could do that if you focused on the family a little more and have them be insufferable and like
Right.
these just horrible people, and then have maybe the teenage characters aren't like these super unlikable horrible characters. That's the biggest thing that turns me off about his movies. All of his characters are ridiculously unlikable. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh god, I hate this. Like I said, the only place it really works is Devil's Rejects, House of a Thousand Corpses, for me
Yeah.
at least. I don't
I
know.
mean, and that's the thing that really was an issue for me with Halloween is that, obviously he's got skill, he's got a certain style, he's got talent and so forth. But God, man, everybody was just a dick, man. Like it's like you know
Yep.
that was the
Yeah.
beautiful thing about the 7-8 movie. And I know people start saying, oh well, you know, you can compare it to Carpenter. Carpenter's always going to win. But the thing about the 7-8 movie is you cared about the characters. The characters had different personalities. You know, they were not all like straight edge, but they weren't like despicable human beings. So when the shit started to happen and Michael did what he does, you actually cared. You actually, wanted to see people survive. I wanted to see, Laurie survive. I wanted to see Annie survive, and it's like, but it's not like they were perfect characters, maybe outside of Laurie, but I'm just saying with his version of Halloween, everybody, like every other word was like, fuck this, fuck that. It's like, all right, dude, I get it.
Yeah.
You don't have to keep beating me upside the head with it. And it got even worse in Halloween too. And just as horror movies, just seeing some people get killed or whatever, yeah, there's great stuff in it. But story wise, or something that I want to watch, or the rewatchability for me
Yes.
isn't there. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And like Dan said in the chat, House of a Thousand Corpses, that was inspired by TCM. You know what I mean? So there is that parallel, that bridge between the two.
Oh yeah.
Anyways.
Ron
Oh,
Turn,
yeah.
like I said, Ron Turn. I think he's right. Ron Turn would be another good one for him.
Yes.
I think,
Yeah.
and he probably never would do this, but I think if he was just like a creative mind or like executive producer on some of these projects and let like a real director that understands the way the flow of a film should be, certain things or because like character develop, like let us like real writer, because it's always like his buddies that are writing these stories or it's him himself, and like
Yeah.
have like a real studio like writers writing the story, because like that's the thing, like the structures for all of his films are pretty much the same thing. And again, sometimes it works for those like B-rated, even though they go to theaters, but they are very B-like type films, and in many ways it works. But like these other projects, some of the other projects that he's done, like Halloween and stuff like that, like it's just you could. It's almost like it would be. It's almost like a fan script, like like somebody like a fan film almost that he just made, that he wrote, where if he would have had real writers and he was just kind of the creative mind of like, let's do this kill here, let's do this, and blood here, that kind of thing, I actually think he would be hugely successful in this, because he does have a vision. And one thing that you can't deny about him, he really is a student of horror. Like
Yes.
he is diehard about it. He is a student of it. So he has the know-how of like what works and what doesn't. I just think his writing and directorial style just doesn't fit for most films. It's very specific. And if he allowed somebody else to do that and just say, hey, you direct it, I'll kind of just guide it, I really think that he would have more success.
Sometimes
I
it's
agree.
better for the student to let the teacher do the job.
There you go.
Just saying.
Is
Good
anyone?
point.
Hey, the cat. I don't know who just said this, but Scream comes out tomorrow on
Tomorrow.
Blu-ray,
Walmart.
4K, all that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Ready to get my hard physical copy Blu-ray
I
in
cannot
my
wait
hands.
for that. Yeah,
That's what I'm talking about.
Get it up.
Get it up.
Absolutely. Can't wait.
Wow.
Let's see.
Get up, baby. Get up.
Denisha was saying, hey guys, how do you think Laurie will meet her end in Halloween Ends?
Oh,
If she meets it,
big if there.
right?
She's dead.
Are
Sorry
we
to
all
break
on the
it to you.
consensus though that
She's
she's
dead.
gonna die?
I'm
Didn't we talk
100%.
about that? Didn't we talk about like what do we think is gonna happen? And weren't we all in a consensus that she's going to die?
I am.
Or that we think the likelihood is very high?
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah.
I think we all
think we
talked about it. We
talked
all
about
were kind of like,
Yeah.
it's probably gonna happen.
Yeah.
I think this is a good question. What do you think,
Yep.
Nate? How do you think she'll die?
Well, I mean, obviously, it's going to be something. I've said, like in one of my latest videos, I said I think she's going to sacrifice herself to save Allison. And she'll be the one to deal the killing blow to Michael, quote unquote, the killing blow to Michael. And I think it's going to play out where Allison does something super cool, to save her grandmother or whoever, maybe Hawkins. Like she's going to have some kick-ass moments. and then whatever happens to her, maybe she's incapacitated or whatever, and Laurie will sacrifice herself somehow. I don't know exactly how that's going to be, but that's how she's going to die. I don't think Michael, put it this way, I don't think Michael's just going to outright just kill her, like Laurie's doing something and Michael just stabs her and she dies. I don't think that it'll be like that, because number one, we saw that happen in Resurrection. I know I hate to talk about Abomination, but it is what it is. So I don't think that they're going to do it like that, because I think it's disrespectful to the character and to Jamie Lee Curtis. I think she's going to have a heroic death, So that's what I think.
Hot take, but what I'm thinking is that maybe at the very beginning of the movie, right, we flash forward 4 years and we find out that Laurie Strode is in a mental hospital, right? And Michael Myers comes and finds her, and she's the opening kill of the movie after Michael Myers throws her off of the top of the building. I'm like, come on, someone's got to pick up on this by the time I get through this whole spiel. No. No. I would be so pissed if that
I'd
happened.
walk out of the theater.
Yeah.
I'd throw my soda at the screen like, screw this.
David Gordon Green can eat my butt. No, but seriously, I think the biggest thing about it is she can't die right at the get-go or anywhere close to it. I think she has to have an arc through this movie that we got to see some physical change. We have to see some change. We can still hear you, Steven.
Yeah.
There we go.
Difficulties.
So I think the biggest thing about it is I want to see her have some kind of resolution arc if she's going to die. I don't want it to just be like she's done, I want to see some character development. I want to see her go through some kind of final thing or whatever, and then she dies. If not, then it's just kind of feels like Resurrection, I think.
Right. Yeah.
Real quick to what you said. What if they like killed her in the beginning, but then they flash forward, like, or say they flash, like, so say the movie starts, the end of the movie, and they kind of go backwards to get back to you know what I'm saying? I'm explaining.
I get it. 24 hours earlier.
Yeah, whatever the case may be. So like, and like we see like maybe Laurie died or something along those lines, and then. Like, would that upset you?
That is my biggest pet peeve with any movie ever. The only director that can do that right is Tarantino by telling his story out of order like that, I think. Every other movie that does that, I just don't care for it at all. It's like, why would you... The only reason I can see doing that in my head is because you have no confidence in your script, so you had to tease the coolest thing that happens at the end for people to stay the entire movie. That's the only reason I see writers having to do that. That's, in my opinion, hot take maybe, but I can't. I'm just not about that. To me, it's like you had no confidence in your script. You had to tease what you think is the coolest part of the movie for people to stay around. So I hope they don't do that. I hope that's not the case. But
what if it opens with just Michael and Laurie falling off of the radio tower?
Oh my fucking god!
And then
No, dude, no way.
Can't do it.
Oh man, that's horrible.
24 hours earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always
Right
start back.
before.
You just hear Allison. Hi, I'm Allison. Let's talk about how we got here.
Scratch.
Oh man.
Yeah, man. I there was a time where I was like almost confident Laurie would live. Like I thought she was going to make it. She was going to survive this thing. And now, as time has gone, and I've seen her Instagram post and her in interviews, it's changed my point of view. It's really made me feel like she's preparing us for her death, just like Radio Silence prepared us for Dewey's death through all the marketing materials. I'm feeling that same way about Laurie, guys. I think that she's telling us in a not so overt way that this is it for that. It's over. And I really think she's going to die. I just hope it's not at the middle part of the movie or an early part of the movie like Dewey, where it's at the middle, and then it's Allison for the last half and Lindsay fighting Michael for the last hour.
Yeah.
And it could happen that way, but I want a 20-minute battle. I want a Rambo type alien predator. I want a 20-minute showdown of Laurie and Michael. I want it to be so throwdown, like you think it's done, and no, they get up and they keep going. It just keeps going, and even if she dies, we get the payoff. What a payoff that would be,
I just had a quick thought on that too, Stephen, because I agree with you. But one of the things I really loved about 2018, and I just watched that the other night. Shout out to Halloween 2018. But that whole scene where she kind of reversed everything on Michael and she was like hunting him. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? I first of all, I thought it was so well done. Jamie Lee Curtis obviously is a great actress, but it was so freaking believable. You know what I'm saying? And even in the confrontation where they were, basically tussling and stuff like that, like it was so well done. So I definitely think there's got to be that Laurie versus Michael moment. I don't know if it'll be 20 minutes worth, but they definitely have to have that because
Yeah.
it's Laurie Strode, and they
Exactly.
basically they sidelined her in kills. So there is
Mhm.
no doubt in my mind she's going to have a huge shadow on ends. And she just has to. She
Has
really
to.
has to. Yeah.
Do you guys think this is going to be a slow paced movie? Because I mean, think about it. Like it's a 4 year gap, right? And Michael is likely wherever he's at, so he's probably not going to be killing people for a good chunk of the movie, right? So do you think that like maybe that this film is? Because I actually think that that's highly likely to happen. That the first 20 minutes or so is just kind of this like dialogue slow burn type things. Maybe see Michael in a cave eating rats, like Jake was saying.
I want to see that so bad.
Right?
Oh
Like,
God, I
but
want to see
outside
that
of
so
that, it's
bad.
just
If
like-
I
it's
see
just
that on
so-
the screen, I'm gonna pick up my phone. I'm gonna be like texting Jake. You were right. You were right. Rats for dinner.
Oh my God, I would be
Yes.
so happy to see Michael just grab a rat out of the sewer and just like scurry into a corner or something, just right into it. Oh my God, it'd be so messed up.
We know he'd
Aussie
eat a dog.
style.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
We
that's
know-
right.
We know he'd eat a dog.
And I still keep telling you guys about watch out for the tree beetles. Little snacks for little tree beetles.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you.
Timon and Pumbaa.
Bear
He's like,
Grylls.
takes it out of a tree and just pops it in his mouth, man.
Right.
This is filled with vitamins.
Oh my God. Unbelievable.
All right, so guys, look, I want to bring up a question, and I think we talked about it the other day, but I want to beat this into the ground, or should I say, into the air, until we see this movie. It's the dadgum radio tower. This is the thing that scares me about this film more than anything else. Is what are they going to do with it? Why is it such a big deal? Why is the first shot of Halloween Kills? There it is. Why is the first shot of Halloween Kills a radio
Massive.
tower? I mean, dude? I'm telling you right now,
That's
I'm
your next
nervous
t-shirt.
about it. It should be a T-shirt.
That's your
You're
next
right.
t-shirt.
It should be the one.
Right?
I'm telling you, I'm nervous about it, and I know that we've talked about it before. But tell me what you guys right now. Let's kind of update everybody. So, how do you feel the role of this tower is going to play in the movie? Is it going to be a control signal issue, or is it something completely different? What do you guys think?
I think it's going to be just a setting. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal because it's something that wasn't like, it's not like the characters talked about it or anything like that in the last movie. It was something that it was quite literally one of the first shots of the movie. And then we see Hawkins and that other officer looking at it at that one point. So like, yeah, it's poignant somehow. I don't think it's going to be the most important thing ever. I don't think it's going to be broadcasting some signal to Michael's hat or I said hat, his mask.
His hat.
Michael's little top hat that he wears under his
of
mask.
course.
That's canon. Yeah, of course. I don't think it's like Silver Shamrocks in control or anything like that. I'm not gonna lie though. With hearing that theory, I would love to see that movie, but I just don't think it's the case. That's just my opinion. I think third act setting, that's radio tower.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying right now.
Okay.
That's
Night?
pretty much what I think too. I as much as I am very interested in what the hell this thing could be, and the possibilities and understanding David Gordon Green's respect and love for Season of the Witch. I just don't think it's going to go to that level. I think it's going to be more of a setting, a reference point or something. If it's anything more than that, I think it'll just be kind of a hint or alluded to, you know what I'm saying? And we fill in the blanks. I don't think they're going to go full blown saying the radio tower controlled Michael and that's what made the signal, the alarm set off like Loomis said so many years ago. So that's my take on it.
All right. What about you, Fate?
I think that I think it'll just be a setting for the most part. But what if it's not an actual place? What if it's just like a metaphor for the moment? Because we don't know. Like, it's not like we've seen scenes of them at a radio tower or something. It's just that it's been taught. Like, this radio tower has been talked about. what if it's just like alluding to something, or it's a reference, or it's a metaphor or something like that, and there's not actually a radio tower actually in the movie. It's just we're just kind of assuming that there's a radio tower just because of what's been said, but
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that there's that it's an actual location or place, and it could just be, I mean, it could be at a radio station and there's a radio, radio stations have towers on top of the radio
Yep.
station. Like, so
Yep.
it could be the radio station in Haddonfield for all we know. But we all have this idea of like this grandiose radio tower.
Mhm.
But like, so maybe it is just a reference to 3. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe that's all it is. It's just we're gonna hear about, like, oh, remember when they used the radio tower for the Silver Shamrock or something? It's just dialogue or something. And then it's like, there's your radio tower.
I did a video on that a little whiles back, and that's pretty much a lot of what I was thinking too. I think that there is going to be some reference, because we've seen references to Season of the Witch in both movies.
Yep.
So there's no doubt in my mind that he's going to reference it again, because he truly respected the decision that John Carpenter and Deborah Hill made to basically let Michael go and go on a brand new path, which obviously did not pan out well. But David Gordon Green was a big fan of the movie. He was a fan of the decision. He was a fan of the possibilities that could have brought to the franchise and horror. So I know for sure he's going to reference it in this movie. And it seems, and I could be wrong, but in each movie, it seems like those references have been a little bit more and more, you know what I'm saying? So I think in this one, it definitely could be referenced, as some type of link maybe to the radio tower or whatever. But I don't think they're going to sit there and say inside of Michael's mask is one of the Silver Shamrock little devices, and that's what's been, driving him all these years. I don't think they're going to go that far, but I think there will be a reference.
Jake, I don't know if you heard what we were referencing, but I was saying, like, there's nothing. We're going on the assumption basically that there's going to be this grandiose radio tower. Like, we haven't seen scenes or images or anything along those lines.
Yeah.
I was like, for all we know, it could just be this, a radio station that just has a radio tower on top of it. Most of them do. And so I was saying, like, do you think that maybe it could just be like the radio tower? Maybe it's just a reference. It's not an actual location. Maybe it has no real significance at all. It's just literally like a passing moment where it's like, remember one time when Silver Shamrock tried to, like, turn kids on Halloween or whatever with that silly radio tower, and it's just like a reference. Do you think that could be a possibility?
Okay, to go off of that, yes. Actually, I think it might be a reference to another John Carpenter outing, if you guys have ever seen The Fog.
Yeah.
Listen to this. What if we have a character similar to Adrienne Barbeau's character in The Fog, who has like a whole like radio show or something in the town of Haddonfield, and is kind of acts as that same character from The Fog? Because David Gordon Green even said when he was writing the script, he had said something along the lines of like, is this too much like Christine? And he even said like, this is it's supposed to reference a lot of the other works of John Carpenter. This is this movie is essentially a celebration of his movies in general, not just the Halloween franchise. So could we have a new character here that's a reference to Adrienne Barbeau's character in The Fog that has some minimal thing to do with the plot?
That would be so freaking awesome. I'm telling you, man, because I absolutely love Adrienne Barbeau. I absolutely love The Fog. It doesn't get nearly enough credit. It's such
super
a fantastic, fantastic movie. That would rock. That would rock. I'm just going to say that right now.
How do you feel about that, Fate?
I would actually welcome that. And it would make sense because, one, it obviously would be a reference, but beyond the just reference, it still kind of goes into like what they've said, what they've kind of talked about. Because I just it's just one of those things, like we all are like sold on like this grand, and it is a cool idea, like this grand, like that's where Michael's hiding out. You have this like 300-foot watchtower, but what if it is just as simple as like, a radio station that's in Haddonfield where you have this guy that's just reported, like, it's been 4 years since Michael disappeared, like, kind of thing, and you you just have like this dialogue. Maybe you all even have like a sort of narration throughout. Like not like an over like view, but just like, like somebody's in the car and turns the radio on, and you just hear like, a manhunt is out for Michael. Like, and that kind of keeps us in. Like, I think that'd be a nice little touch. Like throughout, you just continuously get this like guy as like, just talk. I don't know. I think it's something that would be kind of creative, kind of cool. Different ways you go about it.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
Craven.
So I think I can sum it up by saying it like this.
Happy, happy Halloween, 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 happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
I think that kind of sums up my whole
Wow.
position on the tower. So
I
I
love that you
think
said that so formally. You're like, I believe that sums up my position on the tower.
That was amazing, Steven. Holy crap.
And the transition was just
thank you. Thank you so
yeah.
much.
To
Appreciate
and
that.
end. It was just beautiful.
Wow.
Flawless execution. Thank you very much.
Flawless victory.
Flawless execution.
Yeah.
No, for real. Yeah, it may just be something. That's one to take a clip out of. I'll tell you right there.
Yes.
That's one we should take a clip out of.
I gotta start keeping notes, man, during this thing. So
Right?
that I'm ready to go with all that.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think it may end up being because all David Green really said was that's going to be play a significant part in kill. It ends, but it doesn't mean it's like like it's communicating frequencies and transmission. It could just literally mean the place where the final showdown goes down, or it could be. I mean, it could be a number of things. It could be, what if Allison's working at the radio station?
Yes.
Maybe
I
she's
was
got a
thinking that
job
too.
there. Yeah,
Yep.
That could be
and
cool.
so-
That could be pretty
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah, I mean that way it would be significant because she's there all the time. A lot of time spent there, and so
And imagine an attack scene there where Michael breaks in and starts killing people at a radio
Right.
station.
while
That's
she's
cool.
on the air, can you
Yeah,
imagine her being on
right.
the radio,
Yeah.
and
And the
Laurie
entire
hears it.
town of Haddonfield is listening to that,
Yes.
and they're just like, "Oh my god, it's happening again!" That would be a great scene to see the
Yes,
panic all
it
over
would be
again.
so awesome.
Yep.
And you picture Laurie at home, and then she's listening to her daughter on the radio, and then all of a sudden the attack happens, and she's like jumping in the truck, and she's driving out, and who knows? He could do all kinds of stuff there. And here's another thing I'd love to see. I would love to see that. Thank you, Zoe. I appreciate that. What if her and Michael have more than one attack scene? What if Michael and Laurie get into a fight, and then one of them runs away, and then they come back and they fight again? So instead of having just one epic fight, what if we have a couple
Exactly.
along the
Yeah.
way, and then we
Yeah.
have a showdown? I mean, that would be really cool too.
I agree.
What if we got a Chop Top reference? Like they're at a
Oh, yeah.
radio
Dog
station.
will hunt.
They're at a radio station. You have this like attack at the radio station, and then you just get like this guy that looks like Chop Top in the background or whatever. Like that would be great.
Man.
They play Jerry was a race car driver. Because they had that sample.
Oh,
We get a
Desiree.
showdown with Michael in the back of a car or a truck. And he's fighting
man.
back. He's like trying to swipe Laurie and Allison.
Oh my
I
gosh!
hope not. Be so much like 4. Desiree, I have not done a review of Night of the Comet yet, but that is on my list. That is a great cult classic film. I love that movie so much.
Ooh, which one is that? I've never
Night
seen
of the
that.
Comet. I've never.
You
even
guys
heard
haven't
of
seen that?
No.
Oh, it's
Oh,
a great
wow.
show, man.
It's a cool movie from
It's cool.
I don't know, like 86
Oh, maybe I was
Maybe
84, 85, I think. Yeah.
could be, yeah. But it's a nice cheesy 80s kind of sci-fi horror movie. It's cool. I don't want to say much more about it. It's really campy. It's one of my.
campy.
It's like comfort food. It's one of
Yes.
those movies that's just
Totally.
like comfort food. But Desiree,
Yes.
thank you for bringing that up. If you get a chance, because I'll be streaming later on tonight, remind me about that later on tonight. Because what I'll do is I'll try to move that up in my episode list because I do want to do it. I don't know when though, but if you get a chance, remind me later on tonight. I'll be on at 8. But yeah, Night of the Comet. It's a good one. It really is.
Yeah, the girl from that's right. The Last Starfighter, the one who played
Yes.
Maggie, and the Last Starfighter is in Night of the Comet.
Yep.
Yep. That's really good.
What are the overall thoughts we have on H2O?
I love it. I've always really liked H2O. Like I said, maybe it's just the time in which I saw it, like a timing thing, whatever the case may be. But I even watched it not too long ago, a couple months ago or whatever, and I was still like, this is great. I mean,
Jordan.
it's not a perfect movie. Oh, see you later, Jordan.
See you, Jordan.
It's not a perfect movie by any means, but I enjoy it. I think it's one of the better Halloweens for sure.
Yeah.
Like, hands down. But yeah.
Yep,
Absolutely.
I love it. I love H2O. It's one of my favorite sequels.
I really enjoy H2O. Oh yeah, that one's so fun. I
It
think
is.
the change up in tone too with that movie is unnecessary and I don't know. I really enjoy it compared to like Curse. You know, it's a really good deviation. I think.
Yep.
Plus,
Yep.
LL Cool J. How could he not like him?
Oh, he's a great
When
actor,
he's
dude.
yeah.
Yeah,
He really is.
He was funny as hell in
When
that.
he's telling
Yeah.
the story to his
Thanks,
wife,
Dave.
and he grabs her breast.
He grabs the. He's
Yeah.
writing
What?
this. He's writing stuff.
It's like
Yeah,
he's sitting there doing a song, you know. the
Yeah,
way
yeah.
it's like Jesus, LL, come on, man.
Just a Cravenite
All
chicken.
because, all because of the
Oh,
janitor. Imagine what LL would have been if the
Transformer.
janitor
Oh.
never found his mixtape.
Right?
thank you, Richard.
Like,
Good to
talk
see you,
about
man.
like a coincidence. Talk about like life making sure the universe making sure you're a star.
Right?
Yeah.
His
Very true.
rise to fame is pretty crazy, but he's awesome. I like it. The whole
Absolutely.
drug. And Mama said knock you out. So
That's right.
And we got to go to Milton's mansion before Scream 3 came out, which is H2O. The school is
Yeah.
Milton's mansion. They just
Yeah.
filled the
There you
pool
go.
in, so it's all concrete court and
Good call.
did you know?
Good
Did
call.
you know? And which is funny. I thought it was funny. I didn't know this until like the other day. Somebody like posted something about it. Rose McGowan got married at that same spot. At
no, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
like
what?
a couple years
Huh,
back.
I didn't know that. No
I
way.
didn't know that
know
either.
that.
Somebody posted it in images, and they were like, they didn't do it inside the house, but they used the yard, like the courtyard, to get married there,
Oh.
which is very
Yeah.
ironic and very funny. Like,
Very, very ironic considering the whole Milton storyline in that
And-
house.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's interesting. Dude, that's some hot news, man. I hadn't heard that.
yeah.
That's
Somebody
awesome.
posted something about it on one of the, I think it was the Woodsboro group. And I was
Stu,
just, like,
you are so correct.
scrolling through on the side.
You were so correct.
Yeah.
That
CGI
friggin'
mask.
CGI mask.
Yeah,
Jen. Jake, how are you doing a live stream at 30 minutes while you're here?
I'm,
It's magic.
I have clones of myself when I don't feel like working. They just kind of take over, and I just
If
chill.
only.
I sit back. Yeah, if only, right?
Kind of like Star Wars, you know, you
I
got the clones.
during the subathon, I was we were watching Craven's live stream. I was just playing it and answering questions and talking to the back. I had it on my TV. I was playing it on the TV.
That's awesome.
like, yeah, we
Yeah.
were watching you. And then
Oh.
yeah, so I mean, maybe he's doing that. Maybe Jake is just live streaming the Lethal Collective stream. as
Well, I
well.
figured we don't usually go for over 2 hours, so I set it for 7:00. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Funny.
That's awesome. You know, because I was actually thinking about live streaming right after this also.
Oh yeah.
But I'm not gonna do that because you're live streaming. We have a lot of the same folks. So I don't want to make people have to choose who to watch, so we don't do that.
Steven, I'm gonna call you after my live stream. Speaking of that.
Oh
I've
yeah,
been meaning
Okay.
I've been meaning to get on a call with maybe after the live stream real quick we can talk about that
Yeah.
specifically. I wanted to
Yeah.
actually get something going with that. So
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Man, I have a window. I normally don't have a window open on Monday evenings like this after the lethal's over. I usually have other commitments. Tonight, I just happened that I don't. It's very unusual. So I've got a window of time I normally don't have on a Monday
Yeah.
night. So I'm like, I'm like, maybe I should go live or jump on somebody's live or do something with this time. Or if nothing else, I'll just create some more content for tomorrow. You know,
Yeah.
but-
It's like you're a paid assassin.
yeah.
Paid assassin.
Oh,
I'm a-
Jake's a movie star, by the way.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh yeah, yeah. I should
don't-
be promoting this a
I
little
don't
more.
want to. I don't want to
Yeah.
spoil. I don't want to spoil what
It's
what-
true.
what happens in the movie. But Jake is a movie star.
Okay, so I've been waiting to. I don't know if you guys saw my Twitter post about it, but
Oh,
I've been
you did
like,
spoil
dude,
it, but never
I've
mind.
been waiting to post those pictures since I filmed that. Like, I've been waiting to post. I'm like, these are the greatest pictures, and I can't post it yet. So I said, fuck it, and I posted a bunch of spoilers about the movie. But yes, I am in an Alien movie that just came out. My buddy Sean has been working on this for a really long time. If you guys want to check that out, it's called Casadastrophobia, which is a very wordy, clunky title, but it's about basically that's the fear of being like levitated into the air and being abducted by aliens and all that. It's a really fun little movie, and I have a small part in it. So if you want to check that out, yeah, it's very, very fun. Really cool movie.
Like a hunk in that movie.
And what channel? What channel is it on?
So I put it on my community tab on my page, but if you want to like go and find it yourself, it's on Zom Leader Studios over. That's Sean's page. So I believe I have that on my community tab. Yeah.
I think you did. Yeah.
Yeah. So I shared it there too if you can't find it, but
Yeah.
check it out.
Yeah, guys, go check it out. Zom Leader Studios.
Sean is also in Red Right Hand. He's going to have Sean and Christian, who are both in this movie, will have appearances in my movie too. So
There you go.
good stuff.
Right.
Nice.
All right. Very, very cool. So let's take another question or two. Mega Giants had asked about do we believe that Mark will be in Scream 6? Mark Kincaid.
Ooh.
Not as a character. I think I just don't. I don't know if they'd even be able to get Patrick Dempsey. For one, two. I mean, I would love it. I hope so, but I don't. I could say. I think maybe a reference. Kind of like what we got in 5, where how's Mark type thing. I think it'll be something along those lines. I would like even just like a quick brief, like give us a scene with Sydney and Mark and the kids. Like that'd be cool. Like it doesn't have to be long. Just like maybe them playing at the park or something, and Sydney gets a phone call from Gail or something. Like hey, shit's hitting the fan. Like that would be awesome. Like and it could just be brief. But
yeah, I agree.
I don't think Patrick's gonna be in the movie.
You don't think he'd do like a 3-second little scene with Nev? You don't think he'd do that?
I mean, who knows? I mean, you never know. But I mean, like, there's clearly an issue why they haven't been able to get him on, because they've tried to get him on for 4, and because the original idea for 4 was that him and Sydney were engaged,
right?
And then but they couldn't get Patrick Dempsey, and so so they switched it up, and then Scream 5 made it to where they just basically said, yeah, that did happen. But yeah, they were supposed to be engaged in Scream 4. He was actually supposed to have a role in the movie, which would make sense after Scream 3. But they had to change it because they couldn't get Patrick Dempsey. And then Scream 4, whatever their plans were with him ultimately, which I don't think they planned to put him in, but I believe they reached out to him to try to come back, and no. So that's twice that, maybe it's just something as simple as like, conflicting schedule or something.
Yeah.
And maybe, maybe Scream 6, he able to. I don't know.
Because that's what happened with Samara Weaving. She was supposed to be in this last film, and she was off in like Australia filming something, so she couldn't make it. I wonder who she would have played if she was going to be in this film.
Yeah,
it had to have been someone
awesome.
Significant. So it would not have been Liv. It would have been someone.
Yeah,
I would have changed.
Amber,
or maybe
Amber, maybe.
Amber,
I mean, listen, I love Mikey Madison, but Samara Weaving in that role.
Samara,
right?
come on, all day long.
Samara is big time.
If we're thinking of Liv. Oh, it can't be Liv because Liv wasn't played by Samara Weaving. If Liv is played by Samara Weaving, I bet you Liv has a bigger role, and I bet you she survives over Mindy.
Yeah, that's actually a good point.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? Like, because everything changes when you don't get her. So it's like, okay, well, like,
it's possible.
Let's do something else. So maybe she would have been like Sam or Tara or something like that.
Yeah.
But I believe they had Melissa and Jenna pretty early on. I think they had them locked up, or like they were one of the first ones locked up 5. So I would imagine that they already had that. So Samara likely would have played something else. But yeah.
Could you imagine Samara as Sam Carpenter instead of Melissa Barrera? Dude, it would have been like 1,000-time upgrade. Could you imagine that?
I like Melissa Barrera though. She's a great. I think she's a great actress. I don't know.
I don't know that she's made for this kind of role, man. I'm not saying she can't act. I don't know.
But here's the thing: if Samara, as great as Samara Weaving is, she would have had to play Sam the same way.
And here's my other thing about that: would you like to see Samara Weaving be a Ghostface killer? Because I would like to see. I want to see her be a killer personally.
I would.
Scream 6.
I would. Yeah.
I actually think she's the one that I think will be back if she can, because she even said that she really wanted to be in Scream 5. And she works well with Radio Silence. She knows them.
Yep.
They know her. Mm-hmm. So I think it just makes sense that she'll have some role in Scream 6, assuming that she can. But
opening kill. I've said that many times. She can be an opening kill.
So okay, well, let's.
That's
look at
actually
the-
a good point.
Let's
yeah.
look at the history of Scream. Opening kill could be different, but I think that people would be disappointed if she was the opening kill because a lot of people really want to see her, like wanted to see her
Yeah.
in 5. And anytime anybody has a discussion, like on my channel, my live streams, whatever the case may be, anytime I'm like, who would you like to see in a Scream 6? Everyone mentions Samara Weaving. You know, like that's like the number one person that people interject, myself included. But like, okay, let's look at the history of Scream, right? You have, in 96, you had the 4 survivors, just like now, right? You have the 4 survivors. You had, the OG3 and then Randy, and now you have the twins and then the sisters, right? And then Scream 2, Randy dies and gets replaced by Cotton, right? Cotton was supposed to have a way more significant role in Scream 3, but with everything that went on, Leave was the one that was like, I just want to, like, why don't you just kill me in the opening scene? Because he just wanted to be done with it. But he was supposed to have some significance. So so what if Samara Weaving's in this Scream 6, one of the 4 dies, and she's the replacement for them? Maybe Chad, maybe whatever. They are kind of on this, girl movement where it's like, having this core. Maybe they do. Maybe they round it up with the sisters, Mindy and her.
Bro, you got to have some guys in here. You can't just get rid of all the guys.
Yeah,
I mean, all female cast. I mean, that's a little bit overboard.
I don't think it's going to be an all-female cast, but I agree that someone of the returning members has to die in the opening scene. Like, I think it's probably going to be Chad.
Chad's the only one that makes sense. I mean,
I think he'll die, but they got to bring new guys in. There's going to be at least a couple of new guys.
Yeah,
they will.
I agree with that.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, what if Samara is the one to replace Chad, like that Chad role? Like, she is thrusted in the spotlight, whatever the case may be. Like,
Okay. I have a pitch for this. I would like to see Samara Weaving play like a young, Oh shit. Okay. Yeah. Let's hear what you have to say. But I think it would be cool if Samara Weaving comes in and she's like an intern or something wherever Gale Weathers works. And then you find out, like, when she's revealed to be Ghostface, of course, is that maybe Gale Weathers like pushed her like mom or something out of the way to get certain positions because being a journalist, it's a dog eat dog world. Like you gotta fight for roles and positions, and Gale Weathers is that fighter. So maybe she pushed Samara Weaving or Samara Weaving's like mother or someone related to her out of the way, and that's her motive to ultimately kill Gale. Because it seems like this movie is going to be a more Gale centered film. But I don't know. What do you got? That's just a crazy theory that I have. How do you guys feel about that?
His money.
I definitely think that could be possible because it would make sense. Because Gail obviously has had to step on toes. She's definitely, been pretty brash with a lot of people. So that'd be a very, very cool and creative way to kind of, get her more involved in the story and also a different motive. Of course. I still think the way to go is to have multiple Ghostface killers and to have them operating in and of themselves. I think that would be.
I do really like
cool.
that. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. So if we had her going after Gale, I think it'd be so damn cool if we had another 2 Ghostface killers doing something totally different, and then somehow there's a clash. I think that would be really cool.
I think Stu is grooming more from the Reddit post he posted, where he got Richie and Amber. That's where he groomed them. He's grooming more. That's right. He's grooming more people, just like he did Richie and Amber. There's more of them, and they're going to show up as this cult of these multiple killers. It's coming, man. Samara could be a part of that whole thing too.
Hell yeah.
So I like the idea, but more like simplified. Honestly, Jake, like instead of her being like, like having some like connection to the past or whatever the case may be, I simplify it to where maybe she becomes the intern of Gale to get Gale's trust to eventually take up the mantle of Ghostface to kill her. You know what I mean?
Oh, so that she moves up the ladder just like that. I get okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Instead of making it like, Gale screwed over like her sister's cousin's uncle's brother 25 years ago. Like you could just simplify it, simplify it to where she's just, she just wants to be, maybe she's even upset, like a Jill type thing where Jill wanted to be Sydney. Maybe Samara wants to be the next Gale Weathers, and she looks at it like, you're this old hag now. You're washed up. You have your morning show, but nobody watches it. Like,
right.
It could be a commentary on like the old people, like the older legacy characters coming back for movies too. You could do a whole commentary there with
you
that.
could do all kinds of stuff with it. So I would personally, like, I love the idea. I would just simplify it more. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Definitely.
I love it. Here's
I
money.
agree with that.
No
All
picture.
right, guys. All right.
All
Well,
right.
I think that's about it. We'll get to wrap this up so Jake can do his thing
Yeah.
too.
I just want to say I have never missed a stream because even the one that I missed, I called in and talked. So
Oh,
Well, I'm glad
God.
I'm glad you're keeping score.
And we're here.
I didn't realize
Yeah.
we had a
Yeah.
scorecard over here. I didn't
And
Oh,
realize.
man.
I'll have to.
Yeah.
Oh, can I say something real quick, Knight, before
Yeah.
we shut down?
Mhm.
I have a real special live stream coming up on Thursday. This is the week that Leanne Kerr will be on my channel, who is the writer and director of the slasher film Student Body, which you can rent. Oh, there it is. You can rent on Amazon, on Apple. It's everywhere. Anywhere you want to rent streaming platform, or you can see it. It's out there now. It's a slasher film, independent film. It's their very first production, and it's got a great ensemble cast. Harley Quinn Smith's in it, and some other folks. It's a really good little independent film, and so she's going to be joining me this Thursday night at 9 o'clock for 1 hour to interview her and talk about the film, and I'm excited because this is the first writer director I'm going to have from a film that's not been an actor but actually wrote and directed the movie. So, and also I think it's great to see more females in horror, especially as writers and directors. That's really cool. So I'm really excited about this. So if you guys can mark it on your calendars on Thursday night, I'd love for you to come join. Let's show her some love and support in the chat, and check out the movie if you haven't seen it yet. Check it out this week before Thursday if you get a chance, and we can talk about it. So
Absolutely.
all right, appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. All right. Well, hey, for you guys in the live chat, thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate it as always. You guys always make this fun to have the conversation, and we appreciate the love and support you showed to some of our other family members like Jen and Carrie. That's why you guys rock. So, anyways,
Yes.
we will catch you guys later. You know the tagline: the collective has spoken.
See ya.
Peace.
Peace.